Hello, today in the lesson we are going to learn in what ways we can represent a function. In the previous lesson we learned about what is called a function in math, and we talked about how a function or a functional relationship is a relationship between two quantities, or in math between two variables. And we said that a function in math is written as f from x, or g of x, or h of x. We can apply other variables as well. For example, the relationship of the perimeter of a square on its side, we can write it as p on a. But in today's lesson, we're going to learn about the different ways we can define a function. And in math, we're going to talk about the three basic ways to define a function. And the first way is the algebraic way. So I will write down that the function can be represented in an algebraic way. What is the algebraic method? It's a way of representing it as a formula. Thus, if you saw, let's write it down, that it's a formula. And if you see the following notation, f of x equals 2x minus 5, then we can say that our function is represented as 2 times x minus 5. If we substitute some value in place of the variable x, then our function itself will depend on that value. We talked in the previous lesson about how a function can also be written through the y variable. I can write that y is equal to f of x, and then this form would be written y equals 2x minus 5. And then if we change one variable, the other variable will change as well. There's another way of specifying a function. It's to specify a function using a table, or they say the tabular way. I'm going to write it down as a table. The tabular way of specifying a function. And in the very name, we're already talking about a table. If you see a table, and in that table you notice two variables, and we see values that can be written in the following form. For example, if x equals 2, then y equals 4. If x equals 3, then y equals 6. If x equals 7, then y equals 14. And in this case, we can see that our variable x needs to be multiplied by 2. And as a result, I can write down this relationship as a formula. Using a table, we can write this relationship as a formula, or we can use it like this. Let's try to write down the relationship between the variable y and the variable x as a formula. We see that if x equals 2, then y equals 4. And if x equals 3, then y equals 6. If x equals 7, then y equals 14. And we can see that the variable y is twice as large as the variable x. So I can write down as a formula this relationship. Y equals 2 times x, and then as a result I will get this data. But in our case, you will be given a table. And from this table, you have to determine the dependence. And the third method that we're going to use is the graphical way of defining a function. Setting the function with the help of a graph. Let's write it down. Graphically, a graphical way of defining a function or using a graph. In this case, we will be on the coordinate plane to see the graph of a function. For example, function, which will be represented as a straight line. And then according to this figure, we can make a table. And from the table, we can write a formula. So we will define the function in 3 different ways. by using a formula, by using a table, and by using a graph. In the next lesson, we will learn how to define a function when it is expressed by a formula. Our lesson has come to an end for today. Goodbye, see you again.